What's going on, guys? Whoa. Excuse me. Whoa. I'm just gonna leave that in. But what's going on, guys? It's me, Shugishu. We are back with another umamusume video, and I thought today was gonna be a training video. Then I logged in and saw it was Fine Motion being released today. So today's video, we're just gonna be going over the Fine Motion banner and checking out the, I believe, a new Nice Nature card, right? So. And then after that, we'll go over the comments. So maybe this will be a shorter video. I mean, shorter than an hour at least, right? Maybe. But before we do jump into the... I don't know what happened there. The banner overview and the comments. If you guys haven't joined the Discord server, link is down in the description down below. And if you guys haven't joined the... or haven't join the circle or are looking for a circle to join, y'all are free to join the circle that I'm in. It is called Shushu. Once you give that a search, hit request to join. It'll let me know that you want to join the circle. Then after that, head over to the comment section or the circle quest channel on the Discord server. Let me know that you sent the quest along with your in-game name, just so I can make sure to add you into the circle and not somebody else. But as you can see, as I was saying all of that, I went and checked to make sure that there was still space. So there is 2 spots left. So that will probably be the only time I say it. But here's the card for you guys to see. And then, yeah, that is pretty much it. So let us jump in and check out this Fine Motion for the ramen scenario. Now it is pretty fitting for Fine Motion since she does like her ramen. So what I have pulled for her, yeah, but next month is kind of important, so I'm not gonna. And yeah, this is the new Nice Nature, right? It is a wise Nice Nature. We'll see. I'm thinking betweener or medium distance for that wise card, but we'll see after we go over Fine Motion. So at level 1, 3-star, 91 speed, 85 stamina, 96 power, 85 guts, and 93 wise. At level 5, 5-star, 111 speed, 104 stamina, 117 power, 104 guts, and 114 wise. For the aptitudes, an A on turf. And then mile, medium distance mainly, but you can use it for long distance, because she has a C in it, but you can also use it for short distance if you want to, if you really want to. Obviously, it's the same for all characters. As long as you really want to use them, you can still bring that G if it, to an A if you can. So, and then she is a leader. I would say strictly because that is her best position, but like I said, you can use her as however you want her, I guess. However you want to use her. But her best would be leader. As for her growth rate, it is power, guts, and wise, 10% all around. So pretty nice. Pretty nice. And then, now going over the skills, starting off with the unique skill. A beautiful and straightforward journey, the ramen way. Competing at the front at the beginning of the middle of the race increases speed. For leaders, pretty straightforward and not really focus on a specific type of race. So yeah, you can pretty much just use her for whatever at that point. Now going over the innate skills, starting off with feelings aboard. Which one was it? It was this one. If you're in the first half of the pack at a random point during the second half of the middle leg, your speed will slightly increase. Then we have an honest step. If you're in the first half of the pack at a random point during the middle leg, your speed will slightly increase. I just felt like I said the same thing, but it was just close. And then we have leap premonition for leaders. If you're in the first half of the pack during the second half of the middle leg, your speed will slightly increase. So a lot of her innate skills seems to be relatable to the middle of the race, pretty much. Now going over the awakening skills at level 2, we have Inquisitive Mind for leader medium. If your speed stat is at least 1200, which it should be, over 1200, it will further increase by 20 bonus 20 speed if your wise stat is also at least 1200. You get an extra 20. Level 3, we have Smooth Sailing. If you're in the first half of the pack at a random point during the second half of the middle leg, your speed will increase. Level 4, Aggressive for leader. At a random point during the middle leg, use a little extra stamina to increase your speed. And then level 5, Frontal Attack. If you're in the first half of the pack at a random point during the middle leg, your speed will increase. And then now going over the evolved skills from Smooth Sailing into 1 extra serving of noodles, please. When the end game, this feels long. Did I pick the right one? Hold on. No, I didn't. See, I didn't pick the right one. Here we go. This is 1 extra serving of noodles, please, from Smooth Sailing. So when the end game approaches and a unique skill that increases speed is activated while in the front, the unique skill will activate again regardless of the conditions when the final stage begins for medium distance. Whoa. So she can double activate her unique? So she's going to activate it at the beginning of the middle of the race and then activate it again at the beginning of the final stage of the race? That's actually pretty intriguing. Interesting. Huh. For the conditions, have at least 800 power and then get at least 2 skills for medium aptitude. Well, that's actually quite interesting. Having your unique activate twice. Kind of makes me want her more. Okay. Okay. And then for the second evolved skill from Frontal Attack into Piping Hot, excellent. Here you go. The speed increases significantly in the middle of the race. That's pretty much it. So it goes hand in hand with the unique. So that will activate and probably the unique or the other way around. For the conditions, when any G1 race as a leader 2 times or have at least 600 guts and then have at least 3 speed type skills. And that is pretty much it about this Fine Motion. Honestly, I kind of like the evolve skills or that evolve skill. It interests me to go on to want me to have her, but I don't even have the carrots to do so, so it doesn't matter. So it does not matter. And then here we are with nice nature, a wise nice nature. Let us take a look. I'm just gonna leave the skills up here, but I'm gonna look at. Okay, so it is between or medium. Lots of medium and medium distance skills, between or medium skills, a few medium long distance ones. Yeah, but mainly betweener focus. The gold skills are also betweener medium and medium. So I would say this would be a wise card for Nova, basically. And I guess Kazuki, since Kazuki uses betweeners also. So I guess, yeah, if you guys are into betweeners or use betweeners a lot, which I have been recently, I'd say pull for it. But I can't, obviously, as you can see off my carrots. I'm saving that for the half anniversary, whatever I can. So, with that being said, that is pretty much it. Oh, I have a rainbow ticket? All right, hold on. Let's see what I get off this rainbow ticket that I was not aware of. Would it be something useful? Anyways. Like I was saying, that is going to be pretty much it for the end of the main part of the video. For the rest of the video, I will pretty much just be going over the comments, which I think there's quite a bit, but yeah, if you guys want to stick around and stay and listen to me go over the comments from the last video, feel free to do so. If not, I do understand, especially if you guys didn't leave a comment in the last video to begin with. So, but if you guys do want me to go over your comments in future videos, feel free to do so. Just leave a comment down below in the comment section. As long as appropriate, I'll go over it. And I'll most likely go over it in the next video if it comes in like a day or two late, like you commented in this video and you do it like a day or two late, I'll probably still go over it, as long as it's probably not 3 days late, if anything. But other than that, I'm gonna start going over the comments. That was a long scroll. I guess I should start from the bottom and go from whoever has like a single comment. And I guess that would be starting off with Asta. I'd like to play Silver Palace too, but I wonder when it's coming out. It would be interesting since the game combines the 19th century with detective elements. That's a refreshing touch. So with with them basically taking a year, because I did figure out about Silver Palace a year ago when they announced it the day of, actually, because I started seeing things about a new gacha game and I was like, ooh, what is this? So I saw it, and it looked really nice. That was my first initial impression. After that, I didn't really hear much until like the recent videos they released, I think prior to Anime Expo. And then after playing the demo and all that, I feel like maybe we're looking at another year, or we could be looking at another half year. Could be in the beginning of 2027, or because I think they're doing testing, or they're starting testing soon. So yeah, we could be looking at next year, if anything. So I would say next year. I would, if I wanted to be very, very optimistic that they'll possibly release it earlier, it would probably be at the end of this year. But that would be the earliest, I would say, for like, yeah, that would probably be the earliest, I'd say. That or the beginning of next year. But it's still next year, so I didn't want to say it that way. Nova says, if you ever heard of Reverse 1999, the aesthetics is very similar. It actually is. Just imagine I guess, 2D version of it. I hope Silver Palace comes this year, but we got a stack here with possibly Ananta and Azure Primelia coming. Yeah, Ananta has been... It's supposedly supposed to come out this year, but it could still go into the beginning of next year. I haven't seen much about Azure Primelia, but Moongaze, I heard, is getting a CN release first. Ooh, that's interesting. That's an interesting take, because a lot of these gachas, especially the open world ones, essentially release at the same time. So that's an interesting take that they would do that for Moongaze. I don't know why it says Moonglaze, but Moongaze. Also says, yes, I heard about Reverse 1999. In principle, I agree about the similar. Yeah, it's pretty much similar in that case. Just imagine Silver Palace, I guess, being maybe a open world 3D version of it. I guess. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it from Asta. So thank you, Asta, for the comment. Appreciate it as always. And Nova for applying. The next comment is from Uma Global Enjoyer. And it's from a timestamp, so I'm gonna assume it's after I responded to Uma JP Enjoyer's comment. Yeah, I'm technically the same person with Uma JP Enjoyer. Can't be technically. Technically, it means you're kind of leaving room for, like, maybe I'm not. But nonetheless, we just assume it's the same. You're the same person. Let me see if I could summon it at JP Enjoyer. Hey, Nova says, I knew it. Shoo, we got him. It just felt pretty obvious. Although it would have been funnier if it wasn't. But if this really is the same person, wouldn't it just be safer to just put Uma Enjoyer? If you like both, regardless, or if you just like umamusume in general. But Uma JP Enjoyer, or shall we say global, even though it's from JP, replied to, I don't know if it's to Nova or just to the comment, with, I guess, the Stonehenge face. And then Asta replied to Nova saying, I knew it too. And then Nova responded with a surprised emoji face. I think it was pretty obvious. If you listen around the comments and you realize there was an Uma JP enjoyer and an Uma Global enjoyer, obviously I would have called it out. I called it out and said, it's probably the same person. So I wouldn't be surprised if people also assume that as well. But thank you, Uma JP Global Enjoyer, for the comment. Appreciate it as always. And Asta and Nova and JP Enjoyer for replying. Next comment is from Kazuki. So yeah, my final 10 pull for Dodo and Tazuna banner is finally over. And I'm left broke ASF. Wow, I am too. I am too. And I got Tazuna to MLB on my main account. Dodo, LB5 Dodo in my alt account. Let's go. So frustrating and upset. Thanks to that, I can't borrow another speed card like Daya-chan. I can't use Almond Eye in my main account yet again. Well, technically, at least you can still borrow the Dodo card. Do what I do. I guess. You just gotta deal with what you got, right? You just gotta do what you got. Nova says, I use the card known as polymerization to fuse the two accounts into one. See, if it wasn't a hassle for me to go through my TCG stuff, I would literally go through my elemental hero deck and look for my polymerization card and just be like, and it's the I think it's also the artwork of that was originally in the anime, not the like swirly blue and orange swirl one. I think it's that one too. I feel like it is. It makes me want to check, but I might have to whip it out. Whip out the elemental hero deck because I kind of want to update it with the new hero supports, but that's just my Yu-Gi-Oh side kicking in, or my TCG side kicking in. Kazuki responded and says, why not? It's possible. I already have used it by then. But yeah, it is what it is. And I think I'll choose Daiwa Scarlet Christmas, Donna OG, and for the third slot. Still not sure, but I think McQueen OG or Daring Heart. All Senko Uma. Well, that's my strongest deck card so far, so I'll choose Senko strat all the time. And yeah, I think once I finish my Senko support cards deck, I'll pull for Betweener cards deck. Okay, so I was kind of right to assume that Kazuki was going for Betweener cards also. Well, Kazuki, there's a Betweener Wise card in Nice Nature right now. But if you're not focusing on it right now, then I guess you're safe. I guess you're safe for now. But other than that, that is pretty much it for Kazuki. Thank you, Kazuki, for the comment, and Nova for replying. Next comments before going over Nova's to end off the video is from Eugen. We got a few from him. With the first one saying, another Uma that I don't have to do a train along vid with the same setup. Feels like intentional. Just kidding. Oh, definitely not intentional because I really don't know who you have or don't have. At least from the like. Actually, I don't know who you have and don't have, except for like I guess the obvious ones. But instead, I manual trained Twin Turbo for prep and long CM and got US 3, but the second highest since the auto is much higher in points. I feel like I made some mistakes, but I learned something why it should be that way. So just to share, pre-debut focus on bonds. Sounds about right. Junior year focus on speed, stamina train, no date, max of 1 rest. Oh. So you don't want to do any dates in the junior year and at least rest once? I think I could do that. Because there were moments where I ended up not even using my dates for a long time in the past scenarios, and because I had, I guess in those cases, I had pretty good wise training, I guess. So that would make sense. Classic year stamina wise training use date up to 2 times. Oh. Okay. So classic year stamina wise focus year? I guess that would make sense if you want to get, especially with me, wise was one of the low stats. Stamina kind of there too, so it would help them if I did focus on it there. I'll give that a shot. Senior focus on stamina and wise and before summer can use 4th date and 5th after summer. Wait, what? Oh, so we do want to have at least 1 date after the summer. Okay. Setup on this was 2 speed, 2 stamina, 1 wise. I can't use 2 stamina unless I get rid of the power card. I can see why you didn't have any other stats to focus on. Don't expect much on power since we are in long, so I decided power train through speed on Ura since speed is maxed out with 200 SP bonus. I could have raised it with if I trained more wisely. I haven't tried a 2 stamina strat, which I can now since I do have the friend cards, so I could try it out over the weekend. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I could have raised it with what if I train more wise. Trying to log on global just to do events for extra carrots, and yet I still forgot about it, and it feels like boring to do even for the sake of carrots. I can't help to think doing the one I have done before is like I'm trying to flex out my knowledge to be the very best among the rest, like a Pokemon trainer. I just play global to play global to play global. That's pretty much it. I can say about the NT posting just about the way it is or something you like to show, but I'm still waiting for the NT channel on Discord. You know what? I did forget about that. Let me see something real quick. Let me hop into Discord real quick. And let me where is it? Create channel, text, NTE chat. NTE chat. There we go. Where'd it go? Let's put it in the text channels under on top of how about that? And then let's add another one. NTE pulls. How about that? Yeah. And then there we go. Where did that end up? NT chat is right here. NT pulls is right there. All right, there you go, Eugen. Let me tag you there now at Eugen. Made it thanks to your reminder on the comments. Recording at the moment. LOL. There you go, Eugen. There you go. I got Shinku by the time Boost Fair activated, so I could say around 60 pulls in total since I used 20 pulls from Chaos. Oh, so you got Shinku. All good then. I won't build her much for now because one reason I pull her is for utility, like running boosts. Okay, I was trying to figure out what you were typing here because it says Bosot. Especially for short distance and faster building climb, just like Nanalie. I don't have Nanalie for that reason, but I actually don't mind the climbing. I just wish they didn't have that pause. Like, I find it weird that they did that instead of just letting us run straight up like Ua or any of the other games. With the bike even, I would just stay put until I got Eroi since I'll use Amulet on the 11th pull onwards, just what I did in the Porsche, which I've done around 12th due to it's much cheaper. I enjoy using a lot on 999 even so I assume her fighting style would be similar since I used to range attack with Lacrimosa. Well, from my understanding, Iroi is a hybrid support, so she is like, I think she is. She's like a DPS slash support. I may pull on every banner just to test the waters like what I did to Chaos. Maybe 10 to 20 pulls in the future. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I ain't gonna stop you. And then I'm taking a break as of now. So I have a little bit of time and currently looking for better opportunity jobs that pays more so I can sustain my supports on the game I play. Oh! Is that why you've been commenting more? Because... Wait a second. So have you been... How long has this break been going on? Because I feel like if you've been taking a break for the past couple months, at the very least, you probably could have caught up in Zenless or made some changes to make your Zenless account better. Just to, not to give, you know... That's just my thoughts. If you get your Zenless account nice and settled, you don't necessarily have to worry about it as you did before when you were working at the same time. Because as of right now, let's talk about NTE real quick. Once you have reached, I guess 80 is the max, right? Once you have reached 80 cap for your characters that you mainly use, and then you only have to worry about that for future characters. And then you're just pretty much just keeping up to date with the story and events. And it's just basically how I've been, Nova, been doing things, just basically getting the events done when you can. Not really necessarily spending extra time in the game because our accounts are pretty good at the moment. I mean, yes, we can go do extra time and do other stuff if we wanted to, but just saying that if you can, your NT account will eventually be around that point. So maybe if you want your Zenless account, or if you still want to play Zenless and possibly make it survive, you could probably use this time to put some time into it. Maybe. I'm not forcing you. It's just an idea. If you're, you know, but you don't have to, because I guess that's why you have been playing other co-op games, right? That would make sense. That would make sense. But you don't have to, obviously. If you want to play other games, feel free to do so. It's what I do also. So I ain't gonna stop you, Eugen. I ain't gonna stop you. But I guess you taking a break from your job or you taking a break from a job. I don't know which one is it, but it sounds like you're just looking for a better one. And personally, I would say sounds like the better decision, judging by your commute time from that job. I don't think 6 hours worth of commute time is worth it, to be honest. I felt like you maybe could have found a better, a job closer, maybe. But we'll see what you do with your Zenless account, or unless you're going to confirm to us that you have officially dropped Zenless, then feel free to focus on NTE and maybe just pick up another game later on. Maybe. But other than that, thank you, Eugen, for the comments. Appreciate it as always. And now, to go over the remaining comments, which should be all from Nova. So, with that being said, the first comment from Nova says, "Oh boy, Shushu, 1.3 NT just got interesting. If you know, you know. That means we can't just save for 1.4 anymore." I do know. I do know because originally I was not going to pull for the one character that was supposedly just going to be the only character released in 1.3. But now they had released the drip art for Zonko. And yes, Zonko should be most likely being released at 1.3, which I think is weird because in the story, I haven't done the story yet, but the current story is technically chapter 7, whereas chapter 6 is technically Zonko, right? Should be the end of the Scarlet Letter arc. So if you think about it, we kind of went ahead in the story. And then at 1.3, we're going back in the story because that's when they're releasing Zonko. And with them releasing Zonko means, I guess, that should have been chapter 6, where they I guess, end the Scarlet Letter. But it is what it is. At least that's what I heard. But I'll probably most likely not pull the other girl, and probably, well, I don't know anything about her. That's why I'm saying I'm most likely not pulling for her as of right now. But Zonko is gonna be a must pull. And then there's gonna be Blackbird, and then there's gonna be Akane. It's literally like Wuwa all over again with their current one. Yang Yang into Sui Sui into whoever next. It could be the Fox Girl, it could be the damn you, Nova. I saw what you posted on the NTE chat. How dare you put Francis there? A totally different game. We're like the only two who's playing it also that I know of. So I don't think it should be there, but yeah. 1.3 is gonna be interesting, but we'll just see how it is. Eugen says the story will be interesting on that part on how they will incorporate it, or maybe there will be some plot twists. And then Nova says, wait, you read story? Eugen says, I read light novels. I don't like slow dialogue, but for 1.3, it's really the plot twist that we need to stay tuned that I can think of. So, to be fair to Eugen, I was aware that he did read the story in NTE, because he did mention something about the dialogue being faster than Zenless. The one I questioned was, I don't know if Eugen even remembers anything about Zenless's story, because that was what he was because he was complaining about the dialogue in Zenless. I knew Eugen reads light novels and stuff on his own time, so I knew he reads. I just didn't know if he read the Zenless stuff or even bothered remembering it because of the slow dialogue. That was literally the only thing. I didn't say that he didn't read story in general. Let me get that clear. But thank you, Eugen, for replying to that comment. Next comment. I took a glimpse of the replies. I'm not going to go over the replies because one, I'm going to go over the comment first, the main comment, but it's just basically a back and forth between Asta and Nova about Arknights, the OG Arknights. But the comment says, OG Arknights just announced PC client and that's it, no more emulators. With this, I am glad that PC gaming for gachas has become mainstream for the most part, at least. I think it makes sense. Because, technically speaking, you kind of, everyone should probably most likely have some kind of PC, whether it's a laptop or an actual computer. I guess it's kind of like the whole Steam approach also. Steam PCs has pretty much all the games you can play unless eventually. Because then if you look at like how the whole Xbox, PS, PlayStation exclusives, yeah, they did well for their own respective thing, but obviously you do better if you're that game specifically would do better if it was more spread out. So yeah. Been thinking about normal as a pulling option, but ultimately decided against it. She's very good for Pyrois, but she does require her W engine. I think her personality is fine, but it's just the timing. We got Pink Lady and Uma coming next patch, and I need both in my life. Yeah, that's normal. Just pretty much got released at a unfortunate time because one, sure, I could use her for Pyrois, but if I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really used Pyrois as much. I still haven't completely built Pyrois at all. So, I can deal with it. Like, let me actually take a look. What can I do with Pyrois instead of having Norma? Dial in. Or even Fufu. Fufu's is a fire stunner also. That's pretty much how I'm saying it. So I'm not really if because it's basically the same thing. If I look at Norma, yes, she is pretty much pretty much go to Pyrois, but if you look at the rest of the team, it's literally the same options for Pyrois' team. So literally, you're just swapping Norma as the whatever stunner you want for said Pyrois team. So I wouldn't necessarily think it's a must pull for Pyrois, especially if you have other options to use, which we do. Which we do. We definitely do. But yeah, Remiel priority. And then I'll try to pull for Sigrid. Pulling plan for Wuwa, pretty much all of the chicks and no dude, unless that dude is as good as Brant for a specific team. I won't consider it. Cristoforo is probably the only dude I consider worth pulling just because he's cool. What's the other guy's name? Scar? He's like mid at best. Of course, pulling for the Grand Architect. Whenever that is, I guess. Yeah, it's the same plan. I didn't think much. This is from Asta. I didn't think much of Cristoforo at first. I found his mannerisms too theatrical, but that's his personality. That was literally his vibe, being a theater guy. Plus, I don't want to be that guy. But a lot of the theater people I knew were kind of like that also. So it kind of didn't feel weird to me at all. It kind of just felt normal because I was friends with a good amount of people from theater class, and they were kind of all theatrical normally, so Cristoforo was kind of normal to me. Towards the end though, he struck me as a pretty decent antagonist. I like Scar right away as I have more respect for the maniac style. Fair enough. The Grand Architect for starters, he speaks very slowly. Secondly, the time he spent in Lahairoi was a downside. He was constantly in someone else's form, which I don't really like, even if he was in hiding. Plus, he was the only one from Fraxidus in Lahairoi, which was another negative. I guess so, huh? Yeah, none of the Fraxidus were present. I guess so. Nova says, I don't think Grand Architect has a form. He probably lost his original form a long time ago. Cristoforo grew on me during 2.x story, and he eventually became a villain that's just more than brains. True. Compared to Scar and Frolova, he's a genuine psychopath, and probably the most loyal to the cause. I guess so. Because if you think about it, even like, we already see Scar as the maniac style, right? So, but if you think about it, a lot of the scarier type of antagonists are the more calm, collected psychopaths, where they're more calculated. Maybe it's the right word to say. Because obviously, Cristoforo would be more calculated because he's trying to make things under, I guess, theatrical in a way, to present it in a story as of, so to speak. So yeah. Asta says, if you mean as a fanatic, then yes. And then Nova says, zealot would be a better word in my original comment. Thank you, Asta, for replying. I didn't say it the last time because I didn't go over the replies, but thank you, Asta. CZN revamped the main story from prologue to chapter 1, so I'll check it out. This new character is censored version, so I'm just like, meh. Oh well. Mongol is interesting since I am planning to make a fire team with the swimsuit chick. I know I need a nature team too. For some reason, the standard characters are easy to obtain more so than I thought. Also, the amount of goon in the gacha is kind of insane. Yeah, the amount of goon in Mongol is there. it's very, very prominent. Thank God it isn't a CN gacha, so no chance of it getting nuked like Snowbreak and Love in Deep Space. Oh yeah, it's a Korean gacha. I believe Netmarble is Korean. Yeah, I believe Netmarble is Korean. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm very unsure. It's because I used to play the Seven Deadly Sins, the old one, gacha game, and it was by Netmarble, and I do feel like it is Korean when I did search it up a long time ago. But like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. But it seems like you're making element teams. I did not care about that to begin with because once I saw that there was support, fighter, destroyer, I was like, yeah, we're not gonna be running elemental teams here because, or specific element teams, because one, you're gonna need the support. The destroyer apparently is best for boss fights, and then the fighter is just your normal DPS, I guess. So yeah, no. I'm not gonna do that. I am not gonna do that. It's basically like Zenless all over again. Is what I'm saying. Arcane is gonna be OP? Question mark. I mean, she is an anniversary character, so I would expect her to be. I honestly don't know who to skip after Arcane. I'm so used to skipping at Enfield that I don't know what to do now. Well, I haven't decided if I wanted to pull for the idol chick. I just knew I was pulling for Arcane, regardless, so we'll see how it goes after that. I am pulling for Arcane regardless. GFL2 has the upcoming girl known as Potato Face. So we have Potato Face in GFL2, and there's Potato Girl in Attack on Titan, aka Sasha. She's a sniper from GFL1, and she looks like exactly the same. She might be physical, so I might skip her. General Liu, who comes after her, though, is a cutie, so I am definitely pulling her. Ah, thanks for the physical mention, because definitely physical team is something that I haven't focused on. So I'm sorry, Potato Face. I guess I'm not pulling for her, regardless of her being a sniper, because I normally fall for like the sniper characters, because I myself like playing as a sniper or archer. I've said this before. I think it has something to do with me being a Sagittarius, but that's, I guess, besides the point. But I've always liked snipers and all that. But unfortunately, she's physical, so I won't care. Potato Face is funny, though. I would like to see Enfield and NC stuff, to be honest. If you're going to add the big gachas going forward, then that would make me excited. GFO2 would be a bonus. Oh! Okay, then I will record the NCE stuff. I'll record the stories over the weekend, and I'll post it. Just so you guys can start seeing NCE stuff. Just seeing it from you and Eugen's good enough for me, because you guys are the main commenters, along with Kazuki, Asta, and all that. But I don't know if the other commenters actually do watch the other content. So just hearing it from you two is good enough for me. I don't know about Enfield. Enfield, maybe I'll do story after or once. Maybe I'll do story for Enfield, because there's really nothing much outside of it besides pulls. So maybe I'll start off with the arcane pulls into Enfield story of where I left off after the Camille story, which I still have to do. I have a lot of stuff to do over this weekend. I gotta record the Wuwa story, which I think is stupid long, because I think they released everything instead of separating it in patches or phases. Then I gotta catch up on Star Rail events and story. More events than story if we're considering the time crunch. Then I honestly still gotta do the Camille story and Enfield. I'm lacking on that. But if I do end up posting stuff for Enfield, then it'll probably be more consistent, if anything. Starting off with arcane pulls, obviously. Um, and then the same thing with NTE. I'll probably start off with the story, obviously, but I don't know if I'll be able to post it today, tomorrow, Sunday, or maybe even on Monday, because I also need to today focus on, I still need to do Zenless. Like I said, I need to do both Deadly Assault and Shoe Defense, which shouldn't take too long. But then after that, I do have a priority towards Wua because new story, but also I might just do, if there are multiple chapters, I'll probably just do one chapter then move to NTE, just so I can make sure that I can have NTE released sometime soon. And then what else do I need to catch up on? Already caught up on, well, we already reset it. I already caught up on that. Star Rail, I need one more event, if I'm not mistaken. Genshin, I still want to progress because I don't know what's going on. I haven't really progressed since the last time because I do want to unlock the entirety of the event. And that one's a story also that I need to do. But that one's more recent, so I can wait that off. Zenless, besides the event, the abundance of events that are in Zenless right now, that I probably want to tackle slowly throughout next week, just in case. Is there anything else? I don't think so. So I'm probably gonna do one Wuwa chapter into NTE, and then get those up, and then continue Wuwa, and then that would be my weekend. And before I continue with everything else, so I'll be honest, I don't know if I'll do GFL 2. It's really, honestly, one, I could say, way later than both Enfield and and NTE. And two, honestly, I don't spend as much time as I in GFL 2. Besides dailies and me checking to see if I've done events or thing, I don't spend as much time unless I'm there building characters and trying to clear things up and all that. But I'll be real, I don't think GFL 2 would be a game I would do, especially the main reason is over a year. That's pretty much the main reason. So yeah. But I'll add NT and Enfield. I'll add NT and Enfield. Especially considering Enfield is kind of very minimal. In a way, kind of very minimal. So I just feel like it's gonna be weird down the line, or just weird in the beginning since I didn't post any of the earlier content. But that's just something they'll eventually just not care about as time goes on. But all right then. I guess starting next week, Enfield with arcane pulls, and then this weekend or next week with the NT story. After I get at least one of the Wuwa chapters out of, or the first Wuwa story out of the way. Oh wow, we still have a good amount of comments. All right, let me speed things up. Speaking of Uma, new Uma and card is coming out. Fine Motion is an easy skip. Support card is a betweener end card for medium distance. Ugh, I would skip it, but it hurts. Uma is chill to a degree. I should just try not to procrastinate until the last few days before the actual CM. The dolphin aspect here is to stay just because it makes life so much easier. I mean, yeah, you probably shouldn't wait for the last few days since you literally have like a whole month to get it done. But yes, Uma is chill to a degree. And yes, I figured out literally right before recording that there was a new banner. Also responded and says, for example, I'm waiting for the game's Rulership and Rose Kingdom to come out so I can read their stories and watch their careers on YouTube. Hmm? I've never heard of it. Nova says, Rulership is interesting. I'm waiting for either more Vivlos alt or more Satonos. That was just like either those. I don't know. Kazuki says the Natty The nice nature wise card just looks like a version 2 of Admire Groove speed card, but in a more strong side. Maybe? I don't know. Nova says, I think I might go for it. I wouldn't blame you. Kazuki says go for it. I think it can be used and useful in the upcoming League of Heroes and can do double wise card, Ebayon plus nature wise card for Betweener. That's what he says, not me. But thank you, Asta and Nova, for replying. I heard Persona 5X is collabing with P3. I do think the gacha could be removed since it's something they could have easily made a full game and make profits that way. Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying in yesterday's response to Asta, I believe. Where I was saying Persona 5 was Persona 5X is literally the perfect example of a JRPG or RPG game where they literally just implemented gacha elements into the game, but it could have still been a standalone game on its own if they wanted to with DLC. If they were already going this far, but at the moment they're actually collabing with Hatsune Miku. I believe the P3 collab was before that. The P3 collab was before. Let me clarify that. Persona 5X Persona 3 collab. Or was that Persona 4? I wasn't too sure. I believe it was Persona 3. Right? It was the one with... Yeah, it was definitely Persona 3. It was a month ago, yeah. And then it became the Hatsune Miku collab, like literally a week or two before Anime Expo. I think a week before. I do think the gacha... Okay, yeah. Oh, SAO did make a new game. I might check it out at one point. There's a new movie coming out in 2028, I heard. Well, anything that keeps the setting within SAO is a plus. A new movie, so it has to do... Well, I mean, if you've been keeping up with the series so far, like I have, I mean, I've been keeping up with it because I never got tired of it, to be honest. So where it left off, there is still room. There is still a lot of story. Like, what are we gonna do about Alice? But yeah, they did make a new SAO game. I forgot what it was called, but it was like focused on like the story outside of... I think it was focused on the story outside of Kirito and Asuna in like in Aincrad, I think. From my understanding. I don't know what this Enfield gacha system is and why it's trending with Silver Palace. I hope it doesn't carry over to other big ones in the future. The only reason why it's trending besides Enfield is because it's goes all the way to 120 where you get it guaranteed or something like that. That's pretty much the only similarities I can think of. Like, yes, the first 50 when you get your first guaranteed for a like what 5-star 6-star whatever character you want to call it, the limited character at like what 70 or 80. If you don't get it, then you can get it guaranteed at 120 whatever, something like that. I believe it's something like that compared to Enfield, where it's literally the same thing technically also with with Persona, because they literally have both systems. They call it chance and something else. The chance one is the 50-50 one, where if you reach up to 80, you'll get your guaranteed not your guarantee, you'll get your guaranteed character, but you don't know if it's you have to win the 50-50 or not. And then there's the other one where you pretty much just go all the way to I think it's 110 in Persona, and you'll be guaranteed to get that character if you go all the way to 110. So for me, I'm not entirely bothered by it because it's something I am used to at this moment already. So I don't see why. I don't get it, because even NTE is basically the same at a more nicer way. 90 being the cap, 70 is already your rates are already set to set, and you have a higher chance to get the character. There's no 50-50. Yeah, NTEs are just the nicest version of all of it, so to speak, because you're just guaranteed. So it is what it is. I hope it doesn't carry over to the big ones in the future. We'll have to just wait and see. Eugen showing off his pulls as usual. To be honest, it's all the same in NT. You're not going to lose no 50-50. It's true. I like to show off the dude I pulled. You do you, Eugen. Nova says, how dare you. Actually, I kept pulling the 50 just because I didn't get the glider. I got the bike skin before that for some reason. Also not sure what the game is telling me, but I got 20 standard pulls and both multis gave me Hathor. So yeah, it's telling you to use Hathor more, way more. The response K is still better than okay little buddy. At least okay little buddy is, to me, okay little buddy still sounds funnier than just K. With K, I'll be like, at least if someone says okay little buddy, depending on how they say it, it would probably make me laugh a little bit. Nova says, oh, I get smuggled into anime conventions. Do you really? Did you really go to all those anime conventions for free? Because if you did, then yeah, you're free to play. If you did, then yeah, you're free to play. Other than that, if you didn't, then no, because you paid for the tickets. Oh yeah, I still need to get a new set of furnitures in GFL too. Thanks for the reminder. I don't have things to display, so I don't need real furniture. At least tell me you got the necessary furniture. At least tell me you got the necessary furniture. At least tell me you got a bed. Or a couch. Because you saying I don't need real furniture makes me wonder. Makes me wonder what you're living like. Just kidding. I'm pretty sure you live perfectly fine. I'm pretty sure you live perfectly fine with the necessary furniture that you need. I do 20 minutes commute to the office, but that's already more time than I would like. But if you don't live near where you work, then that's kind of on you though. But does he have the fonts to get the bike though? That's a Eugen question, not me. 20 minute commute's not bad at all. 30 minutes, not bad. Heck, for me, I think an hour is probably the farthest I'll go, because if you think about it, on bad traffic days, that hour will be worse. So, but yeah, if you don't live near where you work, that is technically that is kind of on you. Technically, that is kind of on you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. The scratch event, I guess that's what it is. I somehow make it a bit more back in the event, even though I whiffed a bit. The gambling addiction is real. I stopped myself because I want to save money. Although that 2.5 jackpot or whatever cash prize is kind of, or funds prize is kind of tempting. My other friend said that he thinks Papa Heist is very boring and he doesn't do it, so I'm just like, it's still better than whatever I'm doing in Enfield for the daily Woolen bills. Riding a zipline is not that exciting. You literally just have to do a couple Papa's heists every 2 weeks to get 1,000,000 fawns. It's like one of the quickest ways to get 1,000,000 fawns. You probably just have to spend like an hour on Papa's and you're good. Heck, even less, because the highest I've gotten was like in the 200,000s. So that's already a quarter. Pretty much a quarter of the limit. So maybe his routes just suck and he's doing like 20 plus attempts on it just to get 1,000,000 fawns. But I'd still do that. I still do it regardless. I'm just being honest here. If he's complaining about it, saying it's boring, well, honestly, it's not that boring. It's pretty much exploration. It's pretty much exploration with a purpose of finding as these things, right? Trying to get as much to walk out with. So it is what it is. And also I did figure out how much Mammon gives after doing the key card and the whatever cube thing. And he gives not as much as I thought. I don't remember the exact amount, honestly, but he doesn't give as much as I thought. I thought he would give a good amount. I think my problem is that I went straight to Mammon rather than farming a good amount, then going to Mammon. If you have the items, obviously. Because I wasn't sure how long it was going to take. I wasn't sure what level he was going to be or how long the fight was going to take. So, because I couldn't find a way back into the actual bank out of the vault where Mammon was in. So, well, he pulls on everyone, but he doesn't commit. That is the difference. I don't build pity or whatever this nonsense is. Well, because technically you don't need to build pity in general. Because if you're just focusing on the characters you want to pull for, then what's the whole point of building your pity on banners you don't want to pull in? So yeah. Sakiri and Fadia are all part of the Requiem team for now. I don't really appreciate Fadia before, but now I can see why she ranks so highly on the tier list. Absorbing all the damage your team takes and somehow gets stronger by it. I wouldn't know because I don't have her. Well, that's the combat threshold of WoW for you. You do have the liberty to play as many teams as you like, which makes sense for us since we have more characters now. Speaking of combat threshold, where did that go in Zenless? It came back for a second round and then I haven't seen anything mentioned. So you're saying it hasn't updated yet? Because I still haven't done it. I'll probably do it, but I won't probably record it because that thing honestly took too long to record the last time. And if it's hasn't updated, I'll probably just do it the next update if I remember. Mifu team isn't the strongest, but it's the most satisfying. Why can't they make a gauntlet weapon for her? I didn't even know she had a broad blade or a big sword until her story, to be honest. To be fair, Genshin was my #1 game a long time ago. Not sure about Kazuki glazing Wuwa though. But would you still say Genshin is your #1? Because you said was, so I'm gonna say no. That's the real thing. That's the real comparison here. It's like I said. Because we're talking about now. We're not talking about a long time ago. It's like I said. If you were to say that Genshin is your #1 now, even though you didn't play for it for years, and all you did was come back and pull for Sandrone, kind of like the same thing with Kazuki, just coming back to pull for Imeth and then not playing the game again. I don't think you could consider that a game in general to be your #1 if you aren't playing it. If you're not playing it, I don't see how you're, especially if it's a current game, I don't see how it's, especially one of the popular, well-known games, I don't see how it's your #1. It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like saying a specific flavor of or soda. It's like saying you like Coke, but you drink Pepsi more. It just doesn't make sense. Why don't you just drink Coke? I don't know. Something like that. It just doesn't make sense to me. Because it doesn't feel like you really like the game if you're not playing it. So I don't know how it's your #1 game if you're not playing it. They could say it's your #1 game you've enjoyed playing, but to say it's your #1 game, it's two different things. #1 game you enjoyed playing, #1 game in general. Saying it's your #1 game, oof, and you don't play it, many question marks. many question marks, because even the casual enjoyer of Wuwa would probably seem more believable than Kazuki saying what he said and not playing the game. Let's be real. Yeah, Star Sailor's been out for a while now. I saw some content creators play it, and it seems to be a chill game. They just need more advertising, though. I see people still confusing Sailor and Savior. I don't blame it. I'll probably try it out, like I said, but I'm too busy. I have too much thing to worry about over the weekend with story. I learned that Nicole in Zenless is still a pretty dang good debuffer. I have not used her for a while now, but I shouldn't sleep on her. I don't know if I mentioned it in here, but in the last video or whatever, but I do remember talking, whether to my brother or to you guys, that Nicole this whole time since day one has been one of the best supporters as a rank since the beginning of the game. She's literally been like one of the go-to free-to-play supporters also. That is a crazy thing to think about. And just one more point about the tier list is that people use it for an argument on power creep and gotchas. Yes, power creep is the norm in every gotcha, but the tier list itself is not telling you that a character is no longer viable to clear content. This issue is what I called a skill issue in most fundamental form. Meta characters allow you to clear content easier. Yes. But you can still clear content with older characters. Yes. The single fraction of a difference that then comes from understanding what you're doing and your actual skills put into practice. Yes. Thank you, Nova. Thank you, Nova. Because honestly, if you can, it will be tougher, especially as the characters get older, unless they get buffs along the way. But there is still a way to clear things with older characters, as long as you keep optimizing their teams and builds along the way. Or maybe you yourself just truly have a skill issue. It's like I said for myself in Woo for the Tacit holograms. I admittedly say that I suck and get my ass whooped in the harder levels of the Tacit holograms. I'm not afraid to admit it. But I'm not gonna sit here and complain and say that I can't clear stuff with or without new characters, because I obviously have the new characters, so I have no right to complain regardless. But I'm not gonna sit and complain that the content's too hard when I know that people are clearing it. So in a sense, I just suck. Let's just put it that way. I just suck. But people have a hard time admitting it, so they'd rather complain and blame the game. Let's just keep it real here. But then because of Sissia, I'm also into snack girls too. Well, that's you. I do like Sissia though. Yeah, because when the whales are also complaining, then something is surely wrong. That is a definitive sign that a gotcha is heading to EOS. Oh yeah, if the whales are complaining, then there's something wrong. But it's mainly just the free-to-play players that does all the complaining. Or the low-spending dolphins. But in general, it's mainly just the free-to-play players either being stupid, greedy, or stupid complaining about everything. Everything. Even the most simplest things. It's dumb. Also, a new EOS came about last night. Ether Gazer. Ooh, I've heard of that game. I never tried it once. I thought the gameplay was similar to Honkai and PGR. I was playing both at the time, so I thought I didn't need another one. Huh. I actually thought about playing Ether Gazer when it first originally came out. I just never came to it. So dang. Alright. Yang Yang alt came home without the 50-50 obliterating me. She can apply Havoc Bane herself, which is... Whoa. Huh. My pull video will be after this video, so I won't say anything. But other than that, that's pretty much it for all the comments. We were pretty much so around the same time. So thank you, Kazuki, Nova, Eugen, Asta, and Uma JP / Global Enjoyer. Is there anyone else that left a comment? Did I forget anyone else? Nope, I don't think so. So once again, thank you, Nova, Asta, Eugen, Uma Global / JP Enjoyer, and Kazuki for the comments. Appreciate it as always. And with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for this video. If you guys didn't make it this far, I do want to say thank you. If you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and let me know how your guys' pulls went. If you guys did pull for Fine Motion or for the Betweener nature card. Also, let me know what you guys are up to for the weekend. I just remembered it is Friday. So I also do need to get the... Excuse me. Shield Defense, and I'm also going to add Deadly Assault to the video just so I can get both of them out of the way in one video. And then I'll probably try and get one of the Wuwa chapters out of the way just so I can get that uploaded maybe today or tomorrow. So I can jump into NTE, get that out of the way so I can go back into Wuwa and finish the rest of the story so I can get that uploaded. Yeah. And then after that I need to go finish Star Rail events, the last Star Rail event, to make sure that I have it done before the update. Go to Enfield, finish the Camille story, and then finish the events there also. And then probably go back to Star Rail and probably do the story. If not, I'll go check the other games and see what I can do there. That'll be my weekend. But let me know what you guys are up to for the weekend. You'll probably see some videos posted over the weekend. To be honest. And yeah, so yeah, if there's anything else you want to talk about or ask me, just leave it down in the comment section down below. As long as appropriate, I'll go over it. And if you guys haven't joined our Discord server, link is down in the description down below. So with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you once again. As always, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.